Hello, friends and fans of the Brazilian national team. Welcome to the channel, Brazilian National Football Team Forever. Here, we revisit historic and emotional moments that marked our national team. In today's video, we're going to talk about the 2006 World Cup, when Brazil arrived with one of the most feared teams but ended up facing one of its greatest disappointments. How did such a star-studded team not win the title? Stay with us to understand this story, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your like. The year was 2006, and Germany was hosting the 18th edition of the World Cup. Brazil, carrying the weight of 5 world titles, entered the tournament as an absolute giant, with a team that struck fear into any opponent. The Magic Quartet, formed by Kaká, Ronaldinho Gaucho, Adriano Imperator, and Ronaldo Fenomeno, promised a spectacle. Alongside stars like Roberto Carlos on the left wing, one of the greatest in his position, and Cafu on the right, as well as many other big names, many believed that the 6th title was just one step away from becoming a reality. But what seemed to be one of the most feared teams of all time on paper, ended up becoming one of the greatest disappointments in the history of Brazilian football. How could a team with so many talented players, with such individual brilliance, fail to conquer that World Cup? It's a question that echoes to this day. Many believe that the 2006 edition was one of the weakest technically, and that Brazil, with all those big names, had the obligation to come out victorious. However, what we saw on the field was a bitter contrast to the high expectations. Italy, with their bureaucratic style of football, ended up winning that edition. While the Italians lifted the trophy, Brazil was left trying to understand what went wrong. Among the theories, some point to flawed preparation. Perhaps the team wasn't in their best physical condition. Key players were already showing signs of wear, being holdovers from previous campaigns. Others say that the team's tactical setup overly prioritized the attack, placing 4 highly skilled players, Kaká, Ronaldinho, Adriano, and Ronaldo, who excelled with the ball at their feet but contributed little defensively. While they created magic in attack at their best moments, that same magic didn't extend to the defense. Perhaps if one of these stars had been replaced by a defensive midfielder, the story might have been different. The lack of balance in the midfield could have been the Achilles heel of that seemingly invincible team. Even with a perfect record up until the quarterfinals, Brazil couldn't withstand the challenge when they faced France, a historical rival, which once again stood in Brazil's way at the World Cup. And there, on that fateful afternoon, the dream of a 6th title was shattered. The image of Roberto Carlos, one of the greatest left-backs in history, standing still, adjusting his socks while Henry, unmarked, slotted the ball into the net, is etched into the memory of every Brazilian. A player synonymous with strength, power, and precision, Roberto Carlos had already made history with the Brazilian team, being undeniably one of the best in his position. However, at that moment, his stillness embodied the shock felt by the entire nation, as if the whole country had lost its breath all at once. For many, 2006 represented one of the greatest frustrations involving the Brazilian national team. It wasn't just the loss, but the feeling that a team with so much talent didn't live up to expectations. A team that seemed unbeatable on paper, but fell short of its own legend on the field. The Magic Quartet that was supposed to dazzle the world didn't shine as expected, and Brazil, once again, fell short of its goal. Looking back, there's a deep nostalgia for that incredible group, for the players who defined a generation. It was a World Cup that left deep scars, not just for what happened on the pitch but for what could have been. The team that had everything to win ended up being remembered for disappointment, and once again, Brazilians had to postpone the dream of a 6th title. But this is what makes football so fascinating, the unpredictability. The Brazil of 2006, with all its brilliance, reminds us that in football, the best team doesn't always win. And that's the beauty, and the pain, of the sport we love. And so, we come to the end of this video, where we revisited the painful journey of the Brazilian national team at the 2006 World Cup. If you liked the video, don't forget to leave your like, activate the notification bell, and subscribe to the channel, Brazilian National Football Team Forever. If you want to keep following stories and curiosities about our national team, stay tuned for the upcoming videos. See you next time.